Good morning, everybody. Woo, that time went by fast after meditation. I guess I was in the meditation. So, good morning. I'm so glad that you're here. If you are able, would you please stand as we sing our opening songs? We're starting out with How Could Anyone? How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Let's do that again. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. One more time to really bring that in. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. Beautiful. That's beautiful. We're going to do There Is Only One of Us next. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. You are my reflection. There is only one. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead and have a seat. Oh, it's so good to be here with you this morning. My name is Yvette Trujillo. I'm fiddling too much. My name is Yvette Trujillo. I'm a practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, and it is an absolute joy to be here with you today. So here at the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, we are more than just a Sunday service, right? We're far more than that. We are a growing, heart-centered community grounded in spiritual principles and open-hearted love. That is who we are. Our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. And that begins right here with how we show up with and for one another. So if you are here for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are glad that you found us. And if you haven't already received our gift bag, be sure to pick one up. And there is in that bag a certificate to our bookstore, Wisdom Through the Pages. So take advantage of that because of lots of really cool things in that gift shop bookstore. And you'll also find out more about who we are, this beautiful Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. And there's a little sheet stapled to the front of the bag, and that is a way that you could share with us some information about you. We would love to get you connected to our newsletter. There's so much going on at the center. I'll touch on a few things today, but the way to get all the details is by getting that newsletter. So those of you who are joining us online, hello, my friends. It is such an honor to share this space with you. We're so glad that you're here. I think Reverend Bonnie might be back on Zoom today. She came back in last night. And so we'll see. I've got like a hair here. Hold on. All right, there is so much goodness unfolding here, so be sure to check our newsletter and talk to someone after service, right? This is a beautiful community. Talk to each other. And you have been lately because we're standing at the doors and y'all are just in here having a good old time, which is beautiful. I'm so grateful that you're doing that. Come on out, have a cup of coffee afterwards and share in some community and connection. So I have some announcements for you. After service today, and you'll learn a little bit more about this later, but after service today, we have a wonderful workshop by our guest speaker today, Dr. Will Tuttle. And the title of the workshop is The Keys to Developing Your Intuition. Join us after service and learn how to access your intuitive wisdom more clearly, deepen your joy and spiritual awareness, and awaken greater peace and compassion within yourself. Dr. Will guide you through simple practices using meditation, imagery, music, and art to open new pathways of insight. This workshop is on a love offering basis, so don't let anything stop you. Show up, have a moment to deepen within yourself and grow. So join us. The experience, I know, is going to be absolutely beautiful. So next, and it's right after service. So you go out, grab a cup of coffee, say, hi, I love you guys, give a hug, and then come back in. You like the way I narrate that for you? What I would be doing if I was sitting there right now, I'd be saying, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to stand in here for 15 minutes and not go out there. All right, so next Sunday, y'all, next Sunday is the big celebration. So if you know folks that are part of this community that are not here today, I need you to reach out to them, to invite them to be here. We're 49 years old next weekend. Woo! It is our birthday, and that is nothing small. 49 years. In this sweet little community of Las Cruces, this Center for Spiritual Living has been around and has been transforming lives for so long. So we kick off the morning with Reverend Bonnie, and she's going to give us a powerful and amazing talk. And y'all, we're having a really special musical experience. I'm just going to leave you hanging with that. Yes, we are going to have a very special and wonderful musical experience during our service. And then head out to the big party, go out into the social hall. We're going to have a cookout. I mean, yesterday was 70 degrees. Is this not the best place in the world to be right now? I see snowstorms online. I'm like, hallelujah, I almost wore shorts. So we're going to celebrate with a cookout. We're going to have hamburgers, hot dogs, veggie burgers. Looking at you, my friend. We're going to have games with prizes. And these are fun games. I'm not a game person. Gosh darn it. I need to just let it go. Just let it go, Yvette. It's driving me crazy. We're going to have prizes. And this game is fun. I'm not a game person. I have like performance anxiety. You don't have to count numbers. It's all just fun. And there will be prizes. And I think there might be a second game. I'm not sure. Belinda, how's that going? She's working on it. There might be a second game. So, fun times. Celebrate and honor what this community means to you and what it has meant to you over the years. And invite your friends. If they're not here today, invite them. Have them come, because this is going to be a wonderful time. And we're also turning our birthday into a blessing for supporting our Jardín de los Niños Adopt a Family project. So if you notice, out by the table, and I got moved today because we wanted to make sure we gave some prime spot to Dr. Will Tuttle for his wonderful goods that he's sharing with us today out in the social hall. So we've moved all the information, the sign-up sheet for the potluck, and the bins for the donation. So we're participating in Jardín de los Niños Adopt a Family. But we're not adopting a family. What we learned, because Meg is wonderful, our office manager, reached out to them and said, what is it that you need more than anything? And what they told us is that teenagers kind of get skipped over. because they're tough to buy for. They're a little tough to buy for. And so what we're doing as a community, and this is the offer, the gift offering that you can give to Center for Spiritual Living for our birthday, is an offering to Jardín de los Niños Adopt a Family. We're giving gifts for specifically teenagers, that tough group of kids, that tough group of humans to give gifts for. There's an entire list of suggestions over by the bins in the social hall. So gift cards, numero uno, because don't tell me what to do, I'm going to spend my own money. But there's a big, big list. So we invite you to bring in your gifts. Next Sunday during our birthday party is the last day that you have to bring your gifts and your offerings for Jardín de los Niños Adopt a Family. So please, please, please bring that. Let's support our broader community. And yes, they can drop them. Thank you, Belinda. Belinda asked a great question. Can they drop them off during the week? They sure can come during office hours, and you can drop them in. And another important point is don't wrap it. Don't wrap it. Leave it unwrapped, put it in the bin, and Megan's going to take that to Jardín de los Niños next week on Monday after we're done. All right. Cool? Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to ya. Okay. It's not me. All right, Christmas Eve, y'all. We're having a beautiful, wonderful Christmas Eve service from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And this is a joint effort between Wellspring and Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. We'll join together right here in our sanctuary for a very special musical service called Light of Hope. And you'll see the posters out in the social hall. Celebrate the joyous season with beautiful music, meaningful readings, and an opportunity for deep connection and community. Stay afterward for treats and warm conversation in the social hall. All are welcome. And in that theme, we are going to be decking the halls next Saturday. So we're going to be decking the halls in this beautiful building for Christmas and also for the birthday party. So if you like to decorate, if you love to see the lights, the twinkles, the garland, the trees, and be part of that, we are doing that next Saturday, December 6th, starting at 1 p.m. So we invite you to come here, 1 p.m., and help us to decorate. We would love to have you. It's going to be so much fun. There'll be music, there'll be laughter, there'll be goofiness. I'll be here. So we're going to have a good time. All righty. Here at the center, we believe in the power of prayer, what we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. If there's something on your heart, we invite you to fill out a prayer request card. You'll find them in the seat backs in front of you, or reach back behind you if you're in the front row. You can drop your card in the prayer box at the back on that table by the doors, or in the offering plate as it goes by later on this morning, and you can also submit a request anytime you like at our website, csl-lascruces.org. Your request will be lovingly held in by our prayer team, a group of ministers and licensed practitioners from all 4 local New Thought communities. We come together and we pray over the thing that you want prayer for. So if you'd like one-on-one prayer today, look for practitioner wearing a turquoise stole. I have it on today. And they'll be available after service to pray with you. And we also love good news in our prayer team. So feel free to fill out a gratitude card also in the seat back in front of you and share what's going on well in your life. We love to celebrate with you. Alrighty. So now we're going to move into our time of song, silence, and prayer. And so I invite you to settle in and to close your eyes if you'd like. We'll be doing a song and then we'll sit in some silence and then we'll pray. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. I know that there is one life. I know that there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. I know that the one life, the one power and presence is making itself known to each and every person that can hear my voice, remembering the beautiful morning, the soft light, the clouds, the spectacular day yesterday, so warm and welcoming. And I know that Spirit is indeed in this place. Spirit is indeed in this entire blessing of a human existence that we get to experience. And as I remember that and know that, I know that the power and presence of Spirit is not just flowing through the sunrise, through the soft light, through the warm breeze, but it is indeed infused in this room here today. It is the divine that is inspiring you through the music. It is the divine that is inspiring you through the powerful talk today. And so as I know and remember that, and that there is perfect unfolding in every moment of time, I relax knowing that it is done in perfection. It is indeed already done. And so with great gratitude, we can say together, and so it is. Amen. The reading this morning is from Dr. Will Tuttle's newest book, The World Peace Way. Collectively and individually, our life experience reflects the vibratory level of our awareness, and by making the effort to free ourselves from counterproductive conditioning, we can become a force for raising awareness and inspiring others. In many ways, our earth seems to be a school designed to help train us to develop our inner resources. And through this process, to peel off the veil of delusion and connect more deeply with our nominal essence, rather than mistakenly identify with the shallow mask of our phenomenal selfhood. With diligence, we can discover the many ways through which the outer world mirrors the inner, and how we unavoidably experience the fruits of our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. So I'd like to just introduce not only our guest speaker today, but our wonderful guest musician. If you were here yesterday for the concert, you know what you're in for. So Dr. Will Tuttle is a visionary educator, artist, pianist, composer, and artist, has performed and lectured widely throughout the United States and Europe. Fancy. His doctorate degree, with highest honors from the University of California, Berkeley, focused on educating intuition in adults, and he has taught college courses in creativity, humanity, mythology, and philosophy. He has a broad background in both Eastern and Western meditation traditions and is a former Zen monk. Devoted to planetary awakening and to creating uplifting healing music, he has created 10 much-loved CD albums of original piano music and guided meditations, as well as several books, including his #1 Amazon bestseller, The World Peace Diet. He currently travels with his spouse, Madeline, a visionary artist from Switzerland, providing concerts, lectures, workshops, and exhibits. So I invite you, let's all give a warm welcome to Dr. Will Tuttle. Thank you so much. Play music first, yes, sir. Thank you.
Wow. So thank you, Yvette. What a wonderful service we've had already. And I'd like to invite you now. I'm going to start my time here with playing a piece of original piano music here at this wonderful piano that we have. And I think I'll play a piece called Dance for the Arctic Moon, which is dedicated to the sacred feminine dimension of consciousness that lives within all of us. It's the capacity to love and nurture life. And in many ways, I think the spiritual path is about awakening and resurrecting the sacred feminine within our consciousness, to be receptive to the higher wisdom that dwells always in our true nature. I want to thank my wonderful wife, Madeline. These are her paintings up here that you see around. And the music that we'll be presenting now is basically music in the ancient way. You know, music, I think people, how many of you have used music in some way in your spiritual life? Some of you probably have, yeah. So it's an ancient tool to help us take a journey, an adventure in our consciousness. So that's what I'd like to dedicate this to. Just invite you as you're listening, let the music take you on an inner journey. I'd like to dedicate it to the healing of all of our relations and to co-creating a world of kindness and compassion for all living beings. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here this morning and to share some ideas together. So as we just heard earlier, the whole theme of our presentation today is to connect with our intuition, our inner guidance system as we head into the holiday season. And the wonderful good news is that all of us have a connection that we can cultivate and develop with our inner wisdom that's based on our true nature that was never born and will never die. So that's the underlying idea, is that each one of us, all of us, are manifestations of eternal consciousness. And we are born into a culture where we're basically, in many ways, conditioned to forget that and to see ourselves as basically separate and to be sort of competing for what seems to be a limited amount of good things. So I think the underlying idea really in all of this is going back in many ways to what not only what Ernest Holmes emphasized, which is the power of our mind, our consciousness to create our experience. And this ties back in many ways to the teachings of Asia as well as the Christian tradition. And my own background, a lot of it is in the Zen tradition, the Buddhist tradition. And in the Buddhist teachings, there's this idea of the three poisons, which is, number one is the idea that I would like to, well, the number one is actually ignorance, which is thinking I'm a fundamentally separate self. I'm this object that was born and will die. And then out of that come two more, which are the idea that I have to get what I want and I have to keep away what I don't want. And so when we're under this fundamental delusion of being an essentially separate self, then it's just automatic. We're born into this in our whole society. And so we're essentially, when everyone's under that same delusion, then we find ourselves manipulating each other to try to get what we want and manipulating the situations that we're in. And it can be kind of subtle. Sometimes it can get pretty gross. We can have wars with each other and all these kinds of things. So there's been many great spiritual teachers who have come to earth to try to help us awaken out of that delusion and realize that there is one life living through all of us. We're all interconnected. And it's a beautiful thing, really. I think we can all make an effort to understand this. My old Zen teacher used to tell this story of an owl that was up in a tree looking down on these pumpkins in a pumpkin patch. And they were all arguing with each other about which was the best looking pumpkin. You know, one said, I have the nicest shape, and but your color isn't as good as mine. And so the old owl said, you know, what I think you should do is just look at the top of your head and just see what happens when you do that. And so they all kind of rolled their eyes back and they saw that they had a stem right here, and that if they kind of followed that, it linked to a vine. And then they realized that each one of them was connected to the same vine. And then in this great historic moment of pumpkin epiphany, they suddenly all realized that there was just one life, that they were all like the fingers of one hand. And so they all started laughing about how ridiculous what it was that they were doing before. And I think it's the same thing for us. We can awaken out of this delusion that we're separate and understand that there's one life. It's like my fingers. If they were like this one saying, well, get out of my way, I wouldn't be able to play the piano. So this is really the key, I think, is to question the official narrative in our society. And that's where intuition comes in, because in many ways, without intuition, we don't have a spiritual life, because when we get up in the morning and we live our day, what is it that is propelling us to do the various things that we do, right? We whatever it is. So there's basically, the underlying idea is that all of us are like little sponges when we're born, right? We come here and we just soak up. Their language becomes my language, their food becomes my food, their attitudes become my attitudes. And so we are in many ways the products of our society, of our upbringing, of the ministers and teachers, not these ministers, but other ministers. and we've soaked all this stuff up. And so it's really, I think, possible to live our entire life in many ways just basically as a conditioned product, just living what we were told to do. Okay, that's what I'm supposed to do in our entire life, and then pass away and pass it on to our children and go to church maybe every Sunday, but there's still no spirituality in that, because spirituality doesn't happen until, instead of being guided by the cultural program, we're being guided by a higher knowing, our connection with the eternal divine essence of our true nature. Then we're being inspired by that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that our life will be all easy, but it does mean we'll be living our life, not somebody else's. There'll be an authenticity to our life. We're actually doing the best we can to keep connected to our true nature and speak our truth and live our life that we are here to live. And I think we all know in our bones that we have a mission for this incarnation. There's a reason that we're here. And to the degree that we're living that out, we have a sense of joy. And that's one of the most important things to understand, I think. If we're not living that out, then there's an underlying sense of frustration. Maybe we're just trying to make some money so we can survive. But we're more than that. And so to the degree that we connect with the fact that we're living our life, there's this joy. And I think this is a very important discovery that we can make, which is that we don't need anything in the outer world to feel joy. Nothing. I mean, joy is inherent. There's a bubbling spring of joy at the core of our being that's always there. And I would say in many ways, we work really hard to kind of keep it suppressed, hard to keep ourselves, we're thinking about, I wish he would have done that, and I wish I would have done, and I hadn't done, and I hope I do, and I hope he doesn't do it. And our mind is just going like this, and we can kind of keep that spring of joy completely invisible and go through day after day and week after week. So it's like you said, Yvette, I think in many ways, the silence. If we can quiet, how many of you have a regular spiritual practice where you connect with silence in some way? Good. How many of you never raise your hand no matter what? Anyway, I think it's really important to do that. So I'd like to just emphasize that this intuitive capacity we have is something that we can all develop with practice. And we'll be talking about that this afternoon, how we can actually cultivate 7 keys to cultivating our intuition. But I want to also emphasize that if you found your way through this door, you have a story, a unique story that has helped you question the official narratives in our society, which is so important, and to connect with your own truth. And that has brought you to a place like this, where the whole idea is that, to each one of us connect with the ancient wisdom teachings that guide us to connect authentically with the source of truth within ourselves. So in my own life, the reason how I got here, in a sense, is kind of interesting. I was born and raised in Concord, Massachusetts, back in the 1950s. And it was a kind of a neat place to be born and raised because of the revolutions that were there, right? Everyone knows, perhaps, about the Revolutionary War. It actually started in Concord. And so it was kind of neat because every April 19th, that was Patriots Day, we would celebrate the battle at the Old North Bridge. And my father would get dressed up in his Minuteman outfit and get the gun off the wall, and we'd all march down to the Old North Bridge, and we would reenact the battle and shoot at the redcoats. We had people that dressed up like redcoats, the British, and we'd chase them back to Boston. We'd celebrate the revolution, If you have a tyrannical system, get rid of it. We can't live like that. And so then later, in the 1830s, 40s, and 50s, the Transcendentalist movement took off. And that's, in many ways, was a revolution as well, more of a philosophical revolution. And in many ways, it is the foundation of the New Thought movement, because Ernest Holmes, and a lot of these people started to get connections with Emerson, Thoreau. So I learned to swim in Walden Pond, went to Thoreau School, Alcott School, was born in Emerson Hospital. So the whole transcendentalist thing was very interesting. And these people had like Thoreau, for example, had the largest library of books from Asia, like the Bhagavad Gita and the Tao Te Ching and the early translations of the Vedanta teachings. So they were trying to integrate the non-Western wisdom with the Western wisdom, and to see the perennial philosophy, the deeper wisdom that goes through all the religious teachings that Jesus was talking about, and the Buddha and other great sages and saints. And so I was born and raised in that. And I think it's very interesting because, for example, from the Hindu tradition, that teaching of God as both male and female came in, which was really quite radical and transformational. The idea from the Taoist tradition of God as this principle that you can live in harmony with, and then your life will be in harmony with the Tao, with the way it is. And the idea from the Buddhist tradition of God as mind, that there's this infinite mind that we can connect with. These are ancient wisdom teachings that have enriched the New Thought movement. And so maybe somehow that got in by osmosis, but I remember I went away to college in Maine in the early 1970s, and I was going to take over my father's business. He had a newspaper business, and he owned a whole chain of newspapers by the time I was in college. And I was the oldest child, and I learned from that, don't trust the media. Being raised in the newspaper business, I learned you can't run an article if the advertisers don't like, so it's really helped me a lot to just turn off the TV. I haven't had a TV for 50 years. People say, how is it possible that you haven't been to a doctor, which is true, or taken one pill in 50 years? And I say, it's easy. I haven't had a television in 50 years. So it's really helpful. I think we can get our information in alternative ways, including from nature. But anyway, so I started reading different books, Emerson and Thoreau and Zen, and studying yoga a little bit. And I ran across a book that really was quite interesting. It was called Cosmic Consciousness. I don't know, has anyone heard of that? It was written in the 1890s by Richard Buck. And he basically said that most everybody walking around is in a state of what he called self-consciousness. We basically care about ourselves. But he said there's a few rare people over the ages who have attained what he called cosmic consciousness. People like Jesus and the Buddha and other great sages and saints and mystics and poets, both men and women. And they have attained this level where they are no longer only concerned about their self. They have a love for everyone. And they live from that universal love and awareness, and they lose this pettiness, this fear of death, and this kind of delusional way of being. And the thing that I really loved was he said, it is the destiny of every human being to attain cosmic consciousness. That's really our purpose on this earth. Anything else is a distraction. And so I was like, I don't want to just be distracted and end up when I'm 70 years old, like not knowing why I lived my life. So I remember talking to my parents about it and said, Mom, Dad, we're here to attain cosmic consciousness. We're not just here to make money, My father said, well, actually that education is costing me quite a bit of money, and I'm not sure how that's going to help you get ahead in the world anyway. But I talked to my younger brother, Ed, and to my delight, he said, yes, we should attain cosmic consciousness. Let's do it. And so I talked to my parents about it. We said, we're going to attain cosmic consciousness. And they said, well, what are you going to do? And we said, we thought about this a lot, and we realized there's only one way to attain cosmic consciousness. And they said, what's that? And we said, we're going to go to California. So they gave us their blessing. I have to say, my father actually I couldn't believe it. He actually quoted Thoreau. He said, every man must march to the beat of the drum that he hears. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead. So I remember we walked down the driveway with some fresh baked cookies from my mother and little backpacks, and we headed west. And we decided we were gonna not just drive or whatever. We're gonna walk to California, and we're gonna do it the way they would do it in India with no money. Just walk to California with no money. Here we go. And so we took off and we walked and we worked our way west for several weeks. And somehow we survived, and we got as far as Buffalo. And in Buffalo, it was already freezing. It was October. And I remember thinking, well, I have a bachelor's degree from a pretty good school. I can figure it out. Instead of going west, we better head south. So we ended up just walking about 15 or 20 miles a day, every day, down through upstate New York, into Pennsylvania, all the way across Pennsylvania into West Virginia. And then they said, boys, you're in the Bible Belt. And I didn't know what that meant, but I found out pretty quickly, which means they try to save you every night. Because, we didn't have any money, so we would basically just sleep on the floor of a church if they let us do that. And so we were really interacting with all the church people. And we worked our way down through West Virginia into eastern Kentucky, into Appalachia, where the people had really, some of the houses didn't even have wooden floors. It was just dirt. It was really, this is way back in 1975. But we found it was really miraculous. And sometimes they would say, can you talk to our Sunday school? And we'd say, sure, and we'd tell them, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else shall be added unto you. That is the key thing. Focus on the spiritual path, the spiritual adventure of your life, and everything will get taken care of. And because we found that was true. We didn't starve. We would help people. They would help us. We somehow kept going and kept going south. Remember, sometimes they'd give us a donation. I remember they gave us like $30 one time after speaking to the Sunday school. And in 1975, that was kind of a lot of money in a way, $30. And so I remember we stopped for lunch. It was about $12 for two people, and then we gave the waitress an $18 tip. And we just kept walking because we knew we shouldn't just hang on to something. Just let every day take care of itself. That's what they said. All right, we'll do it. And so we kept going, and we finally ended up going down into Tennessee, and we got as far eventually as the farm. And in 1975, the farm was the largest hippie commune in the world, and there was about 900 people there, and they were all from California. So we felt like we had met them in the middle, kind of. And we loved it there, but it was not intense enough of a meditation. We really wanted to meditate. We were doing this practice that we learned about Ramana Maharshi from India, who said you should just ask the question, who am I? And go deeper and deeper with self-inquiry to get to the root of what you actually are. So I was doing that just thousands of times a day, just who am I, who am I? And so we ended up leaving the farm and walking all the way down into Alabama to a Zen center. You probably think I'm lying, but there was a Zen center in Huntsville. And we lived there, and then eventually I got out to California a few years later. I was living in a Tibetan Buddhist center, and then in Zen centers, and then I shaved my head, became a Zen Buddhist monk in Korea back in the early 1980s. And talk about silence. I mean, we would sit for from 3 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. I took a vow of silence for 3 months, and it was a great experience, just going deeper and deeper into meditation. And the underlying teaching, I think, in all of this, I eventually came back and got my PhD at Berkeley and taught college courses, and eventually met Madeline, and then eventually realized that the New Thought movement is pure gold. It's really connecting us with this ancient teaching, this ancient wisdom teaching that we have within us, the capacity to directly experience our true nature. When we take time every day to connect with the inner silence, connect with the being that we are beyond all the conditioning, and then when we create communities like this center for spiritual living, we support the ancient wisdom teachings. And there's no greater gift we can give to our world than to do that. To do the two things, to do the inner work so that we're authentically actually connecting with our inner wisdom. And then the second thing is to then help others, to create a community where we're working on this together. And it just helps us to connect with the joy that helps us to overcome the divisiveness and fear, which is very often rampant in our society. So I want to thank all of you, because I think, again, if you found your way through the door, you have a story that is inspiring. I'm sure it is. And that when we share our stories and when we support each other in the ongoing unfoldment of the unique adventure that each one of us is on, then we help to create a better world for ourselves, not only ourselves and our loved ones, but for the whole human family and for the whole web of life. We're all interconnected. And that's the beauty I love to see in Madeline's painting. She really shows the beauty of animals, of nature, and of the whole web of life. And that's really, I think, a key thing for us to take in, to realize we're part of this beautiful planet. How many of you by now have noticed that the Earth is beautiful? You figured that out yet? The Earth is so beautiful, and it's that awareness of the beauty of the Earth, I think, that encourages us to protect the Earth and protect our own sensibilities. And I have to say, Madeline and I have traveled all over the world. We've been invited to speak, since the World Peace Diet was translated now into 19 languages, we've been invited to speak in China and India and all over Europe and Africa, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand, all over the world. And we've seen so much beauty and so many beautiful people. And of all the most beautiful things I've ever seen, the most beautiful thing, it's not a thing, but the most beautiful thing is a human woman. Such amazing beauty in human beings. And I don't think we realize it, actually. But the beauty that we are can come forth when we connect with the inner beauty that we have always within us. And we can appreciate that tremendous beauty that we each are. So I want to thank all of you. And I'm so grateful for the amazing beauty. Madeline and I have been together now 33 years, so I'm very blessed. Every day gets better and better. And just close with this final thought that in the Buddhist tradition, there's something called the three jewels. And the three jewels are the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So the Buddha is our true nature, that's uncorruptible, what we call sometimes the inner Christ, or the divine essence of our being. That's the Buddha. Dharma is the teachings that help us to awaken the truth of our Buddha nature, of our true nature. And the Sangha, the third jewel, is the community of people who are interested in this, who are dedicated to doing that. And so these three jewels, and the Buddha said something very interesting. He said, without the Sangha, there will be no Buddha and no Dharma. So you're coming together like this, and your devotion to your awakening and to the community is so valuable for all of us and for the whole planet, because there are powerful forces that are trying to suppress the ancient wisdom, and every generation is called to keep it alive and pass it on. So thank you very much for your efforts, everyone. And I'd like to just close with a short piece of music. And this will be a piece called Benediction, Benediction of Light. Just send out a blessing into our world together through the music. And again, let the music evoke imagery and joy, the inner adventure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dr. Will Tuttle. That was beautiful. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So, so wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with us, everyone. Another round of applause for Dr. Will Tuttle. Thank you so much. All right, so we have now our opportunity to participate in circulation, to participate in the abundance of this glorious world that we have the gift of living in. And so this is our time of offering for our community. And I just want to remind you that every single time that you give to this center, we offer back out to our community 10% of those offerings. And this month we are giving to, this is our last week of the month, so we're giving to Las Esperanzas Incorporated, and they provide coats and shoes for children in need in our community. So you're not just giving to this beautiful experience so that we get to have someone like Dr. Will Tuttle here to share such wonderful and embodied, truly embodied wisdom and gentleness. And I could just feel that you live what you talk about. It's really so amazing. And that is the gift of contributing to and belonging to this community. And so let's together share our community, let's say our community blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And now let's sing. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. Oops. And so I know right here and right now, as I stand here before all of you, as I stand before these beautiful gifts that have been offered to our community, that we are indeed so generously blessed by this universe, by this world, by this planet, by the divine presence that we are infinitely connected to. So for this blessing of receiving, I know that that circulation continues and that we are each blessed in return. And so for all that it gives to this community, this Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, and for all that it gives to the broader community of Las Cruces, I am so deeply grateful. Thank you, sweet Spirit. And together we say, and so it is. All right, so before we move into our closing song, I want to give Dr. Will a minute to share with us a bit about his wonderful workshop that will take place after service.
Thank you, Yvette. Yes, just very briefly, please join us right after the service. We'll have a few minutes, and Madeline and I will be back right here. And it's called Opening the Intuitive Gate, the Keys to Developing Your Intuition. We'll be sharing some techniques of music and art, along with meditation and imagery, in order to help each one who's here, each participant, connect with your own unique way of accessing your intuition. Albert Schweitzer said the key to happiness is good health and a short memory. And so if you come into this moment and go more deeply, we'll be sharing the 7 keys to developing your intuition as well. So please see us right afterwards. Thanks so much. Go forth and multiply the message. Bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so remember that those of us with turquoise stoles on are available for prayer after service, so see us. See Dr. Will out in the social hall. He's got a table of goodies. Stay for the workshop. There's also information on the table in the back. And, some Christmas stuff for sale. We had a sidewalk sale that was very successful yesterday. Yes, thank you, Kayan and Janice. You've been all remarkable. So let's please stand as we sing, Go Out and Shine. gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. Come on and go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Hey, have a wonderful week, everybody. See you back here for the workshop. Some music.